Archangel Michael says, "I command you with urgency and with love, open this now, because what you are about to read has been sent to rescue your spirit." This is not just a message, this is a divine alarm. It carries the name of someone who is not who they pretend to be. Their intentions toward you are not holy. God has chosen this moment to uncover what has been hidden, to bring you clarity where confusion lived, and to pour light over the darkness that has tried to follow your footsteps. Something sacred is happening. You are not reading this by accident. You were led here by grace. Type 555 to receive blessings and miracles. There are things around you that have been clouding your peace, and though you've tried to keep going, something inside you has been unsettled for a while. You've been feeling it in your chest, that pressure, that whisper that something is off. Maybe you've dismissed it. Maybe you told yourself that you're just overthinking. But the truth is, that stirring in your spirit wasn't worry, it was God trying to tell you something. And now, heaven is stepping in with full force to make sure you don't ignore it any longer. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to grow closer to God. Heaven has seen your tears, the ones you cried when no one was looking, the ones you cried when the people you trusted left you without warning. God has seen how much you've tried to stay strong, how you've forgiven silently, how you've walked through the fire without lashing out. But now the time has come for justice, and it's coming in a way that will make you feel seen, safe, and protected. This message is not to scare you. It is here to remind you that the power of God is stronger than any evil that has been planned against you. There is someone whose presence in your life has not been pure. On the outside, they might have acted like your friend, smiled at your joy, offered you their hand when you felt weak. But deep down, their heart was not right toward you. This person has spoken things behind your back that you were never meant to hear. They have tried to delay your blessings, confuse your mind, and dim your confidence. They were jealous of the light inside you, the favor that God has placed upon your life. And even though they tried to wear a mask of kindness, they couldn't hide their spirit from heaven. What if 7 minutes of sound could end years of financial struggle and replace it with freedom, prosperity, and peace? This ancient frequency, once locked away in secret government research, is now changing lives everywhere. Imagine bills erased, doors opening, and sudden windfalls flowing into your hands. But every delay is wealth lost forever. Click the link in the video description and comments below to switch on your money wave, and claim abundance today. You may wonder why people like this are even allowed near you. But hear me now, God never lets deception go unnoticed forever. There is always a moment when heaven says, "Enough." And this is that moment. That's why this message found you today. That's why your spirit feels like it's finally being understood. That's why everything that used to be a question is suddenly becoming clear. The person who wished for your failure will now witness your victory. And not because of revenge, but because of restoration. Because God always makes things right in His perfect way. Type 222 if you know God is with you. You've walked through seasons where you felt invisible. You've loved people who didn't know how to love you back. You gave and gave, even when you were the one hurting. And still, you stayed faithful. Still, you prayed. Still, you believed that God was watching. And now, your belief is being honored. The truth that has been hidden behind closed doors is about to be exposed. Not just to you, but to those who tried to silence your light. Heaven has declared this your season of unveiling. Your time of clarity. Your moment of divine exposure. The name will not just be revealed in the physical. It will be revealed in the spirit. You will begin to feel it in your heart. You will notice things shifting. The way they talk, the way they behave, the way your spirit reacts around them. Don't ignore it. This is your confirmation. This is God telling you to step back and let Him handle what you were never meant to carry. You don't need to fight with your mouth. You don't need to seek revenge. Just trust. Heaven already wrote the ending, and it ends with you standing in the light, untouched, unharmed, and deeply covered by grace. There's a breakthrough coming from this exposure. You may not see it immediately, but it will start with peace. You'll feel lighter. You'll sleep better. The confusion will break. The heaviness will lift. And blessings you didn't expect will start to arrive in quiet and beautiful ways. Things that were stuck will move. Doors that were shut will open. Your prayers, especially the ones you whispered in tears, will be answered. And not because of the pain someone tried to cause, but because God uses all things for good. Even betrayal becomes a blessing when it's placed in God's hands. This is your rescue. This is your awakening. You were not created to walk blindly through life, trusting everyone without protection. God is sharpening your discernment. You are being taught how to recognize truth not by how people act, but by how your spirit responds. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are spiritually alive, and the Holy Spirit inside you is always working to guide you, to protect you, and to lead you into a life that is full of light, truth, and joy that no one can take away. So, listen now with your heart wide open. This isn't just a warning. This is an invitation. God is inviting you into a new chapter. One where your peace cannot be stolen, your joy cannot be mocked, and your name is no longer dragged through dirt by those who envy what they cannot understand. You were created for more. You were not made to live in the shadow of someone else's broken intentions. You are loved. You are chosen. You are held. And nothing, not even hidden betrayal, can stop the power of God that is now moving in your favor. You have been walking with wounds that no one could see, carrying burdens that you never deserved. And yet, you still chose kindness. You still held your tongue when you could have spoken in anger. You still showed up with love when betrayal was the only thing you received in return. Heaven does not overlook these moments. What the world ignores, God honors. And today, heaven has decided that you will no longer be overlooked. The one who set traps for you will soon see that you were always surrounded by angels. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. There are forces in the unseen that have been watching you closely. Not just the ones sent from heaven, but also the ones that were sent to confuse, delay, and discourage. But they failed. They could not shake your faith. They could not destroy your heart. And most of all, they could not stop the anointing that rests over your life. You are not just someone trying to survive, you are someone chosen to rise, to lead, to heal, and to shine brighter than any lie ever spoken about you. Stay with me until the end, because God has placed a hidden treasure for your heart in this message. The enemy hoped you would question your worth. He hoped the betrayal would make you bitter. He hoped you would stop praying, stop believing, stop loving. But you didn't. And because of that, a shift is happening in the heavens. Chains are breaking. The atmosphere around your life is changing. People who once felt close will begin to distance themselves, and you must allow it. Not every disconnection is a loss. Some are blessings disguised as silence. God is creating space for something purer, something real, something safe. This next season of your life will require new boundaries. The kind of boundaries that protect your peace and guard your purpose. You are not being asked to fight. You are being asked to step back and watch God move. You are being called into a quiet strength, one that does not argue, explain, or beg. One that simply walks in truth, dignity, and unwavering trust in God's justice. The same people who tried to keep your blessings hidden will soon be witnesses to the overflow that is coming. Your name has been mentioned in places where you weren't present. Some with love, others with envy. But every word spoken has been heard by heaven. And now, God is preparing a table. Not to mock your enemies, but to prove to your heart that faithfulness is always seen. You may not have all the answers yet, and you may still be carrying the weight of what was done to you. But soon, you will look back and realize that this pain was the beginning of your greatest protection. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. Heaven does not bring warnings to scare you. Heaven brings them to prepare you. What's coming is not fear, it's freedom. You are being set free from every lie that was told about you. Free from the pain of trying to prove yourself. Free from the exhausting effort of loving people who only came close to take advantage. You are being set apart for something deeper, something sacred, something that reflects the true love of God. You will be surrounded by people who do not just smile when you win, but who pray when you're weak and hold your hand when you're tired. The name of the one who meant harm will not be shouted by God with rage, but will be revealed to you with quiet clarity. You will just know. You won't need proof, because your spirit will confirm it. And when you know, don't panic. Don't confront. Just step away. Let God be your shield. Let your silence speak. Let your growth become the loudest reply. Let your healing become your testimony. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. You've cried enough tears. You've walked through enough confusion. Now you are walking into understanding, into peace, into a clarity that doesn't come from people, but from heaven itself. No more guessing. No more wondering. The identity of the one who meant you harm will not matter once you see how God lifts you above it. He is rewriting your story with joy. And He's beginning that new chapter now. Even if your heart is heavy as you read this, take a deep breath and know this truth. What was meant to harm you has become the very thing God will use to bless you. Not because the pain was fair, but because God is just. The one who tried to damage your name will now see you carry a new name, healed, chosen, blessed, and protected. There were moments when you could feel something was wrong, even though everything around you looked normal. That's because your spirit could sense the battle that your eyes could not yet see. The person who wished you harm may have used soft words, but they carried a heart filled with quiet resentment. Their gestures looked warm, but their intentions were stained by jealousy and hidden motives. It wasn't your fault. You loved them with a pure heart. You believed in their words because your nature is gentle. You extended kindness, not because you were blind, but because your heart has always chosen love over suspicion. God is not angry at you for trusting. Heaven does not blame you for seeing the good in others. But now, God is asking you to step into wisdom. The kind of wisdom that keeps you safe, while still letting your heart remain soft. This exposure is not punishment, it is protection. And though it may ache at first, it is also the doorway to your next level of peace. God is not only showing you who they are, He is reminding you of who you are. You are not weak. You are not naive. You are favored. You are deeply loved. You are chosen to walk in light, and no shadow can remain around you anymore. Do not be afraid of this shift. You may feel alone for a moment. You may wonder if walking away means losing people you thought would be with you forever. But heaven assures you, what you are walking away from cannot compare to what you are walking into. God is preparing divine replacements. People who will match your heart. People who will not compete with your calling, but will pray over it. People who will not smile while secretly hoping for your downfall, but will celebrate you with sincere joy. God is not just removing someone who meant you harm. He is opening space for someone who will mean you healing. You are not being asked to rush this revelation. Just take it one breath at a time. As truth unfolds, give yourself permission to feel. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to be silent, be silent. You are not expected to carry this alone. Heaven is holding your hand through this process. Angels are surrounding your space right now. They are guarding your name, restoring your peace, and keeping your heart steady. Everything the enemy tried to twist in your life is now being untangled by the hand of God. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. You will begin to notice little confirmations. Words they say that no longer sit right. Actions that used to go unnoticed will now speak loudly. Your dreams may begin to show you glimpses. You may wake up feeling a strong inner knowing. That is not fear, that is discernment. You are being gifted with spiritual vision. Use it well. Trust it deeply. It's not there to make you paranoid, it's there to keep you safe. When God gives you eyes to see, it means you're about to be elevated. He does not want you to take old shadows into your new light. This is not just about someone who meant you harm. This is about what it means to fully live in truth. To no longer carry the weight of pretending everything is okay. To no longer feel the burden of holding in pain just to keep the peace. This is about your soul being free again. This is about your smile becoming real again. This is about your nights becoming peaceful again. God is restoring every part of you that was quietly aching. The path ahead will be clearer. You will walk lighter. The heaviness that sat on your shoulders for too long will begin to lift. You won't need to explain to others what happened. Let your healing speak for itself. Let your peace be your answer. Let your joy return in such a quiet, radiant way that even the enemy has no choice but to watch in silence. You were never meant to live beneath the weight of someone else's brokenness. You were meant to rise, again and again, with the strength of heaven behind you. What they meant to destroy will now be your foundation. What they meant to break will become the reason you are stronger. What they tried to hide will now be used to highlight the presence of God in your life. You are not stepping into fear, you are stepping into freedom. And heaven will walk with you every step of the way. You've carried so many silent disappointments, pretending that everything was fine, even when something in your soul was telling you it wasn't. You ignored your inner voice for the sake of keeping peace with people who were never truly at peace with themselves. You sacrificed your comfort just to keep certain relationships intact. And in doing so, your own heart was slowly being neglected. But now, the Lord says, that season of ignoring your own discernment is over. You are not meant to shrink to fit inside false connections. You are not created to beg for loyalty from people who only pretend to love you. This unveiling may feel overwhelming at first, but it is heaven's way of cleansing the space around you. It is heaven saying, I want better for you. The people who betrayed you may never admit what they did. They may never apologize. But it is not their apology that will free you, it is the truth. And God has delivered that truth straight into your spirit. There is a reason you feel a strange release in your chest, like something has finally broken off. That is the spiritual weight leaving. That is the unclean energy being removed. That is heaven giving your soul room to breathe again. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. You will start to walk differently after this. Not with arrogance, but with awareness. Not with fear, but with strength. You won't ignore the signs anymore. You won't explain away what you feel deep within. God is sharpening your vision now. You will begin to recognize not just who someone pretends to be, but who they truly are in the spirit. You will feel the shift in your body. You will feel it in your conversations. The uneasiness you once ignored will now become your compass. The discomfort you once pushed aside will now become your protection. And still, God asks you to remain pure in heart. Do not let bitterness grow where beauty once lived. What they did was wrong, but how you respond now matters even more. Do not seek revenge. Do not let anger consume what God is trying to restore. You are not their judge. You are the child of a God who knows how to repay, restore, and redeem in ways more powerful than you can imagine. Let heaven handle what heaven revealed. Let your spirit remain free. This is not your fight, it is your freedom. Everything around you will begin to reflect this shift. Relationships that no longer align with your purpose will start to fade. That is not rejection, that is redirection. God is clearing the path for something cleaner, deeper, and more lasting. New people will enter your life. You will find yourself connected to those who match your energy, your heart, and your purpose. No more pretending. No more fake smiles. No more wondering where you stand. God is sending people who see you the way He sees you, precious, worthy, deeply loved. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brain wave, once buried in CIA files, has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. You are not just being protected from someone who wished you harm. You are being reintroduced to your own power. The strength inside you that got buried under self-doubt is rising again. The voice you once silenced to keep others comfortable is coming back stronger. The boundaries you once hesitated to draw are now being etched in firm truth. This is your reset. This is where your soul starts to breathe without fear of being judged, used, or betrayed. This exposure, as painful as it feels, is not the end of something sacred, it is the end of something toxic. It is not God punishing you, it is God delivering you. You are being pulled out of cycles that once disguised themselves as love. You are being set free from the illusion that you had to earn someone's loyalty. You are being returned to your original identity, the one where you walk with confidence, not confusion. With joy, not anxiety. With love that feels like safety, not performance. There will be moments when the memory still hurts, when the betrayal still stings, when you wonder if you missed something. Don't dwell in that space. Let God speak louder than the enemy's echo. Let the peace that now fills your space become louder than the pain that tried to own your heart. You have cried enough. You have questioned enough. Now it's time to rise. This next season will feel unfamiliar at first, because peace always feels foreign when you've lived in survival. But do not be afraid of it. Let peace become your new normal. Let trust in God be your resting place. Let the truth carry you forward, not back into the arms of what God just rescued you from. You are walking in favor now. And heaven is not done yet. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. This isn't just about what happened to you. This is about what God is building in you now. The damage that betrayal caused will not define you. The story does not end with heartbreak. The enemy tried to distract you from your calling by wounding you where you were most vulnerable. But instead of making you weaker, it is making you wiser. You have now stepped into a higher spiritual awareness. What was meant to break you is awakening something unshakable inside you. You will no longer carry the weight of wondering if someone's love is real. You will no longer exhaust yourself trying to hold on to people who treat your heart like an option. God is closing the doors that should have never been open. He is shutting the mouths that whispered poison into your atmosphere. You are not losing anything that was meant to stay. You are simply shedding what cannot follow you into the place of peace and purpose God is preparing for you. Type Amen if you believe God is your strength, and share this powerful video with 7 faithful souls to receive blessings and miracles. There were prayers you cried that felt like they disappeared into the air. But nothing you ever said to God in pain went unheard. Your cries have been echoed in the halls of heaven. Your tears have watered the soil of your future. And now the harvest is beginning to grow. Slowly, gently, and steadily. Not all at once, but beautifully in time. You are stepping into the season where what was meant to destroy you becomes the very soil from which new life rises. You will look back and realize this was the moment everything changed. Not because someone apologized. Not because the pain suddenly disappeared. But because you decided to trust God more than your own fear. You chose to protect your peace. You chose to believe that heaven's revelation was not a punishment, it was a lifeline. And you took it. You held on to it. And now, heaven is holding on to you even tighter. You don't have to explain to anyone why your energy has shifted. You don't have to prove why you're choosing silence, distance, or space. What God has shown you is enough. Trust it. Let it guide your steps. Let it protect your heart. Some people will be uncomfortable with your growth. They'll call it coldness. They'll say you've changed. And that's okay. Because you have. And that change is holy. The Spirit of God is creating new space in your life, space that will soon be filled with peace, laughter, clarity, and people who pour into you with the same grace you give to others. You will no longer overextend for those who barely show up. You will no longer question your worth based on how others treat you. You are learning how to love without losing yourself. You are learning how to listen to God above every other voice. Every time you doubted your own heart, heaven grieved with you. Not because you were weak, but because your purity was being used against you. And now, that cycle is over. You are not foolish for loving deeply. You are not naive for trusting fully. Your love is a reflection of God's heart. But God is teaching you now how to carry that love with discernment, how to protect your joy, and how to walk away without guilt when someone's spirit is not aligned with yours. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. You are being set apart, not isolated, but elevated. What's ahead will require more from you, and that's why heaven had to remove the ones who would have distracted or delayed your path. You are entering a space where your voice will be clearer, your mind will be lighter, and your purpose will speak louder than ever before. No more spiritual noise. No more second guessing. You are walking in alignment now. Let your heart rest, even if it feels tender. Let your mind settle, even if it's still sorting through the memories. You don't have to rush into answers. Just keep listening to the peace. Let peace be your confirmation. Let the stillness be your sign. You don't have to chase clarity when God is handing it to you piece by piece, moment by moment. Everything you need to know is already being planted in your spirit. Just stay close. Stay prayerful. Stay grounded. What you feel right now is not fear. It's a shift. A cleansing. A holy transition. And heaven will not let you walk through it alone. You are being covered. You are being held. You are being watched over, protected, and loved by a God who never sleeps. The identity of the one who wished you harm no longer has power. Because the identity of the one who saved you now defines your life. The struggles you faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. You may still remember the kind words they spoke, the way they looked at you as if they cared. But even kindness can be faked when a heart is not right. You were not wrong to trust them. Your heart was never flawed. You were simply unprotected until now. But God has wrapped you in divine armor, and what once touched you with deception will never again cross the line of your peace. God is not only revealing this person's hidden heart, He is also revealing your own worth, the depth of it, the beauty of it, the power of it. And once you begin to see yourself through God's eyes, everything changes. There will be silence after this shift, and that silence is holy. Not everything needs to be spoken. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to tell your side of the story to those who were never willing to see you clearly. God will speak for you in ways your voice never could. Your healing will speak louder than your hurt. Your progress will preach louder than your pain. The peace that comes from walking away from what was fake will be louder than the noise of betrayal. The person who tried to harm you did not see the weight of your prayers. They didn't see the nights you stayed up whispering to heaven for protection, for answers, for peace. But heaven saw. Heaven heard. And now, your prayers are unfolding in front of you. Not always in the way you imagined, but in the way your soul needed. You asked for truth, and heaven delivered it. You asked for peace, and now God is clearing the way for it to stay. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. This part of your journey is going to feel different because you will no longer feel pulled in two directions. The internal tug-of-war between loving someone and sensing something wrong is over. That mental and emotional tension is breaking. You will no longer be torn between giving them one more chance and protecting your own heart. The decision has been made by heaven. You are being protected, whether they like it or not, whether they ever confess or not. God does not wait on them to change their mind. He acts on what is best for your soul. There will be days when you look back and feel sadness. That is natural. It's okay to grieve the version of them you once believed in. But do not stay there. Grieve and let go. Honor the lesson, but release the pain. Your heart was not made to carry what does not love it in return. And your soul was not made to stay loyal to people who only saw you as a convenience, not a calling. Heaven is rebuilding you. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. Your discernment is being fine-tuned. You'll start to notice things before they even happen. You'll feel a tug in your spirit when someone's words don't match their intentions. You'll walk into rooms and feel peace or warning without any explanation. That's not paranoia, that's protection. That's the Holy Spirit whispering before danger even gets close. You are no longer in the space of guessing or waiting to be loved properly. You are now in the space of knowing. Knowing who you are. Knowing who is truly for you. Knowing what it feels like to be deeply protected by a God who never sleeps. The person who plotted against you thought they were clever, but they forgot one thing: God always watches, even when humans hide their true face. What they sowed in secret is being exposed in the light. But do not let that exposure make you vengeful. Let it make you wiser. Let it make you more grateful for what God is saving you from. Let it remind you that even when it seemed like nothing was happening, heaven was working behind the scenes. And now the stage has shifted, the curtain has lifted, and you are walking into the kind of freedom that no lie can ever touch again. From this moment on, everything will begin to change in the most gentle and powerful ways. Your sleep will become sweeter. Your prayers will become bolder. Your heart will begin to feel light again, even if you're still walking through the ruins of what used to be. Don't worry, God is rebuilding everything, and He's doing it with gold this time. Everything that is coming will be built on truth, on peace, on love that doesn't come with conditions. You are rising. You are healing. And the person who meant to harm you has already lost access to the most valuable thing they could ever touch, your spirit. They will not enter the next chapter. God has already sealed that door. The pain of betrayal never fully disappears overnight. But healing doesn't always need to shout to be real. Sometimes, it comes quietly, like a gentle hand pulling you out of a storm. You wake up one day, and the heaviness is just gone. You laugh a little more. You breathe a little deeper. And your heart feels a little safer. That is God's mercy at work. That is heaven's way of restoring what the enemy tried to drain from you. Not by rushing your heart, but by wrapping it in holy tenderness until you feel whole again. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. You may not have seen this coming, but heaven did. God watched every silent act of betrayal. Every dishonest word. Every fake gesture. He saw them talk about you with words soaked in envy. He heard the mocking tone in their voice when you weren't in the room. And still, he said nothing at first. Not because he was ignoring it, but because he was allowing it to reach a point where the exposure would be final, undeniable, and necessary. He allowed it just long enough for you to see the full truth. Now that you've seen it, he is closing the door. This is the kind of divine closure you didn't even know you needed. It's not the kind that comes with an apology. It's not the kind that gives you all the answers. It's the kind that settles deep in your bones and says, you can let go now. And when heaven says it's time to let go, trust that what's waiting ahead is more beautiful than anything you're leaving behind. Don't hold on to ashes when God is offering you gold. Don't cling to shadows when God is pulling you into light. The person who wanted to harm you will realize, too late, what they lost. Not because they'll miss your presence, but because they'll see that what they tried to destroy has become indestructible. You are no longer in a place where their name holds weight in your spirit. Their opinions, their lies, their manipulations, none of it matters now. Not because it wasn't painful, but because you've been lifted out of their reach. When God elevates you, He doesn't need your enemies to approve. He just moves. There's a holy stillness coming to your days now. That constant inner noise, the wondering, the second-guessing, the overthinking, it will begin to fade. And in its place, there will be clarity. You'll begin to know without needing proof. You'll feel peace when something is right. And when something isn't, you'll walk away without needing a reason. This is what it means to be protected by heaven. To live in a rhythm that's not controlled by chaos, but led by peace. You will no longer be tricked by appearances. You will no longer ignore your spirit for the sake of comfort. God has trained your heart to see through things now. What once looked like love will now be revealed for what it truly is. And this time, you won't excuse it. You won't try to fix it. You won't stay hoping it gets better. You'll walk away, not because you're cold, but because you finally understand your worth. You deserve to be surrounded by people who don't just smile in your face but carry you in prayer when you're not around. You deserve love that feels like safety, not performance. You deserve to rest, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally know that you are being held by a God who never lets anything slip through His hands. This is not just recovery. This is rebirth. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. Type 333 to welcome peace into your heart. There will be blessings coming to you that feel personal. They will come in ways that remind you God saw everything. You will receive breakthroughs that feel like whispers from heaven saying, "I told you I would take care of it." The people who once laughed at your quiet pain will now witness the loud victory of your peace. Not because you needed to prove anything, but because God always honors those who remain kind in a world full of cruelty. You didn't lose. You were protected. You didn't fail. You were repositioned. What they tried to steal was never theirs to begin with. What they tried to curse is now being blessed 7 times over. And what they meant to delay is being released in full, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. Not because of them, but in spite of them. Because God is that good. Because heaven keeps its promises. Because your name is written in divine favor. So take a deep breath now. Let this be the moment you finally feel safe again. You don't need to watch your back anymore. You don't need to question your heart anymore. You don't need to apologize for how deeply you love, or how hard you prayed, or how long you stayed loyal. Heaven saw it all. And heaven has already gone before you. This moment may feel tender. You may still be unpacking everything heaven just revealed to you. That's completely holy. There is no need to rush through this. Healing is not a performance. It is not about pretending to be okay. It is about being still in the arms of God and letting Him remind you who you are beyond the betrayal, beyond the loss, beyond the lies. You are not what they did to you. You are not the story they twisted. You are the one heaven kept safe when no one else knew what you were going through. Let this be the part where you let go of trying to fix what was never yours to repair. You gave your heart honestly. You showed up with loyalty. But what they gave you in return came from a place of lack, from wounds they never healed, from jealousy they never faced. And you were never meant to carry the burden of their brokenness. You are not responsible for their deception. You are only responsible for how you heal, how you rise, and how you protect the light God placed inside you. Heaven is restoring that light now. The part of you that grew dim because you were constantly poured out, constantly doubting yourself, constantly wondering if the love you gave would ever be returned. That part of you is being brought back to life. God is breathing fresh purpose into your spirit. You will smile again, and this time, it will reach all the way into your soul. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything unnecessary has been removed. Type 444 if you believe in God's divine protection. You are not empty. You are being made new. The space left behind by betrayal is being filled with peace, not bitterness. With clarity, not confusion. With gratitude, not grief. What they tried to destroy has only deepened your connection with God. And this connection will carry you into a season of favor so personal, it will feel like every blessing has your name written on it. Because it does. Because God never forgot what you were holding on to, even when everyone else let go. You've been walking around with silent strength, carrying pieces of yourself that no one ever saw. But heaven saw. And heaven kept track. Not one moment was wasted. Not one tear went unnoticed. And now, the divine repayment is beginning. You will begin to receive in areas where you were once overlooked. You will begin to rise in rooms where your name was once dismissed. And you won't have to push. You won't have to beg. You won't have to prove. The favor coming to you will be effortless because it's from God, not man. This is the kind of shift that no one will be able to deny. They'll see it in your peace. They'll feel it in your presence. They'll watch it unfold in your life, and they'll wonder how it happened. But you will know. You'll know it came from trusting when it hurt. From staying kind when you were tested. From praying when you could have cursed. From holding on when the enemy tried everything to make you let go. Your peace is your reward. Your clarity is your strength. Your joy is your comeback. You don't need to say anything to anyone who misunderstood your silence. Your healing will speak for you. Your peace will testify. Your growth will be your answer. And God will be your defense, always. The one who tried to harm you no longer has access to your spirit. You have risen too high. Heaven has pulled you too far. You may still feel moments of aching, and that's all right. God is patient with your heart. He is not rushing you through this. He is walking with you, step by step. You are not falling apart. You are being gently rebuilt. You are not broken, you are being refined. There is gold in the places where you once bled. There is beauty in the silence that once haunted you. There is strength in the space that was once filled with questions. And that strength is permanent now. Let go of the need to be understood by those who were never meant to carry your heart. Let go of the desire to be heard by the ones who turned their ears away when you were hurting. You are no longer chasing closure. You've already received it. Heaven's voice has spoken louder than their silence. God's covering is heavier than their betrayal. And His plan for your life is still unfolding with grace, even in the ruins of what you thought would last. You are walking into something deeper, something real, something holy. No more pretending. No more performing. No more pouring into cups that never saw your value.